Good evening, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Education dated today, Tuesday, February 25th, 2020. Mrs. Smith, will we have roll call, please?
Ms. Cummings?
Here.
Mr. Rich?
Here.
Mr. Mukamal?
Here.
And myself here. Ms. Green?
Present, thank you. We will be led by the Pledge of Allegiance by Mrs. Beth Hewlett from our PTA Council President. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And give her the bookmark too. Yeah, right there.
On behalf of the Board of Education, we would like to present you this as our thanks for doing this.
That's good. Very good.
That's going to want to do the pledge every time now.
Yeah.
Moving to item 2, is there a motion for the approval of the agenda? Mr. Rich?
I move that we approve the agenda for today, February 25th, as presented.
Support.
Mr. Mukamal?
Madam Chair, at our, we had a policy meeting just prior to this meeting, and it was a decision by the committee that the action item on board protocols with respect to meetings, ethics, and communication be tabled until the next meeting. The board packet did contain an initial draft of these that did not include revisions made by other board members. What we decided to do was we were going to consolidate that, reissue these protocols, and have everybody take another look at it before we vote on it.
Thank you.
So I would ask that we amend the agenda to remove that action item.
Any other discussion?
We need to vote on that.
Yeah,
Right, I will. I just want to make sure. Okay. Is there a vote to amend the agenda to remove the action item of board protocols, tabling it until there's more opportunity to complete the work that was happening?
Well,
Mr. Mukamal?
I move that we amend the agenda to remove the action item A, board protocols, meetings, ethics, and communication.
Is there a second?
Support.
Okay, we have a motion to remove the item on board protocols by Mr. Mukamal, seconded by Mrs. Cummings. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we will table that item. Thank you.
Now pass the agenda.
Now,
Yep. So, going back to, Mr. Rich made a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
as amended.
As
Madam
amended?
Chair,
Yes, thank you.
I support.
There's a motion by Mr. Rich to approve the agenda as amended, supported by Mr. Mukamal. Any discussion? Okay, Mrs. Smith, roll call vote for that.
Mr. Mukamal?
Yes.
Ms. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes?
And myself, yes. Ms. Green?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Okay, moving to announcements. Again, welcome to the February 25th Farmington Board of Education meeting. The next meeting of the Board of Education will be held on March 10th at 6 o'clock p.m. The meeting is open to the public and will be cablecast live on TV 10. Public comment request cards are available in the back of the room. If you would like to speak during public comments, please fill out a card and place it in the ceramic bowl next to Trustee Mukamal. Public comments may be shared after the legislative update. Please remember to silence all cell phones and electronic devices at this time. In addition, out of the courtesy to those in the audience, we ask that you refrain from sidebar conversations and that you step out into the hallway if you feel the need to carry on a conversation. We thank you for your cooperation. Moving to item 3, items from the secretary. Mrs. Smith.
Good evening. we had items and correspondences from Mr. York, the 2020-2021 budget, Ms. Hewlett, invitation to the PTA Council 2020 dinner, PTA Council dinner, and Ms. Cujo, IB career-related program, Mr. York, again, third grade reading law, Ms. Stolman, an invitation, and Ms. Vitor, March is Reading Month. Communications are acknowledged, and when appropriate, a response is provided.
Thank you. Moving to the next item on our agenda, report from Student Roundtable. I'm not seeing Alexis here. Seeing that there is not a student present, we will move forward from that item to our legislative update. Mr. Rich.
So there were a couple things moving this past week in Lansing. So the school retirement annuity bill passed the House. And so that bill is now heading to the Senate, where it's been referred to the Appropriations Committee. As a reminder, this bill amends the Public School Employees Retirement Act and the State Employees Retirement Act to provide annuity options for employees and retirees in the defined contribution retirement plans through either the State Employees Retirement System or the Michigan Public Schools School Employees Retirement System. There were committee hearings going from allowing parent or guardians to execute do not resuscitate orders on behalf of a minor child, filing and storage and notice rules regarding those orders, and authorizing a guardian to do that as well as a parent. Those bills have another hearing this week. They actually happened earlier today. This week, they also had the House Education Committee had a report with the requirements for the Department of Education and the State Treasurer. It also has a bill that was brought up creating model program of instruction in cursive handwriting and makes optional for public schools. And Senate Bill 171, which has come over from the Senate, modifies certain graduation requirements for high school diplomas. That is all I have right now. I will keep you all updated in the future for more things.
Thank you. Moving to the next item, public comments. Are there any public comments? Seeing no public comments, we will close public comments and move to the next item, district updates. We have a PTA council update with Mrs. Hewlett.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm Beth Hewlett with the Farmington Area PTA Council. I'm happy to be back to give you another update. The last time that we were here was October, and we've been very busy since then. So we wanted to let you know a little bit about what we have had going on and what's coming up. In the fall, we did an ALICE training, a community forum for parents so that they could come and attend and learn the emergency protocol in the district. We've had 2 of our general meetings since we were here last. One of the meetings featured Democratic House Leader Christine Gregg, and the other was on the road in celebration of the Farmington Hills Education Foundation Grand Donor Celebration. Try to say that again fast. And during that last meeting, the PTA Council district-wide voting body voted to endorse and support the upcoming bond proposal. So we are happy to do that. We were also thrilled to be awarded a district-wide grant for $5,000 to put diverse books in all of our media centers at all levels. So we're really happy to get that going. And Jim White has been tremendously helpful to us in the past. And as soon as we let him get through March is Reading Month, then I'll go knocking on his door so we can get that going. So that'll be a little bit time coming. So we also co-hosted the film Resilience, a viewing of that and a discussion about the effects of adverse childhood experiences, and that was with Farmington Youth Assistance. I want to note that we have seen many of you at many of our events, and we really appreciate that you take the time out of your schedules to be there. I know it's not easy because you're requested to be in many places at many times, so thank you for that. So what we have coming up is that we will be co-hosting a parliamentary procedure workshop along with Livonia PTA Council and Northville PTA Council. And we're really excited about that. We have not co-hosted with other councils, so we're really looking forward to working together with them. And we will also, so that will be open to PTA members in those districts, but we've also invited Detroit Public Schools. They're getting back on their feet with their PTAs. I think they're up to 86 now, so they have great things going on in Detroit, for sure. Jen Garland, who is our advocacy chair, she'll be traveling to Washington, D.C. in 2 weeks for National PTA's LegCon. And she will be with PTA leaders from all over the country. And they will be in the offices of policymakers, and they will be talking to them about what PTA's current legislative priorities are. So some of those the ask that they're making of Congress this year is that they focus on investing in family engagement centers, school infrastructure, improvements to the federal school meal program, that they enact legislation to protect youth, families, and communities from gun and other violence, and that they reauthorize the IDEA Act and protect student privacy online and increase access to technology. So we're looking forward to seeing what comes out of that visit for them. We are currently accepting applications for our PTA Council scholarship, and that is through March 20th. It's available on the website, and it is open to students that are active in their PTSAs who are showing examples of volunteerism, advocacy, and leadership, and we look forward to that. We award up to 3 $500 scholarships per year. So the other thing that we're really excited about is that we have launched, with the support of Farmington Youth Assistance and the Junior Optimist Club of Farmington Hills, we have launched our vaping awareness, education awareness contests. So we are so excited to do that. We are, with the support of these other organizations, we're able to implement that at the elementary level, middle school level, and the high school level. So for elementary, it's going to be in the form of a Healthy Lungs poster contest so that they can learn about what it takes to have, to make, and to keep healthy lungs, and so that when that time comes and they're faced with these decisions, they'll know that. And then for the middle schools and the high schools, that's going to be in the form of a PSA video contest. And that one will be specifically for the kids to educate their peers on how vaping affects themselves, their community, their families. So we're really looking forward to those entries. We would also like to invite you to be a part of the judging panel, which will happen on April 24th at the Maxfield at 9:30 in the morning. And I'll send you an email with details on that to follow up. So what we anticipate happening there will be that we will judge the posters that have placed at the top in their individual elementary schools and moved up, and then the video contests as well. The other thing that's very exciting is that at each one of the 3 levels, the first place winner, their school will get $500 to go into a community project. And on top of that, in the high school level, they will give cash prizes to the first 3 individuals. So that would be $500 for first place. I'm going to hold up an example of the flyer, and I brought these for you guys. So at the high school level, that'd be $500 cash for the first place winner, $250 for the second place winner, and $150 for the third place winner. So these are some really great prizes, individual prizes and community prizes. So we're really excited to get this going. We've been working up to hyping it up, and we've been working on some other vaping awareness initiatives in the school to sort of culminate with this this contest. And I brought just copies. There's 3 different sets in there for you guys. And then lastly, we're really excited that I know that several of you are able to join us at our Founders Day dinner on Monday. And that is when we celebrate the founding of PTA 123 years ago. In Farmington, it's been around for 98 years. We have a really strong history of PTA and a lot, as you know, in a lot of active units. And so we get together once a year to celebrate the legacy and all of the work that our units are doing. So we look forward to seeing you then. And I will get with you about the judging. And I just want to thank you for letting us come and give you an update.
Thank you. What a wonderfully diverse activities and a lot you guys have been doing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Exciting. Good. Fappan has requested that they move their report to our next meeting, so we will not have a report tonight from Fappan. Our next item on the agenda is reports from the board committees. Is there a report from the Policy or Board Governance Committee that?
Madam Chair, as I mentioned earlier, Policy Committee did meet earlier. The vast majority of the time, really, the agenda focused on the board protocols. And as I indicated earlier, we will be resubmitting the board protocols that were scheduled for vote today on meetings, ethics, and communications will be redistributed to the board, as well as protocols for the other areas that we're looking into. The names escape me at the moment, but we want to make sure that all the board members have adequate time to review them, give their input, and that the latest version for the board packet is submitted that would be voted on, just to make sure that there's clarity and communication.
Thank you so much.
We also, if I can, we did also want to make sure that we were looking at the issue of vaping, because I know that the PTA Council is championing that this year, as was just presented by Ms. Hewlett. We did want to look at we have obviously an existing policy on vaping. We are just going to take another look at it, make sure that everything that we are doing in a district is well aligned and consistent. What we did understand is that the issues that were brought up by the PTA Council were not so much policy issues, but more communication issues, which falls under central office. So we're just going to make sure that that is handled. But, you know, issues that the PTA Council are championing are things that we want to also make sure that from a governance standpoint that we're aware of and are monitoring.
Excellent. Thank you. Mrs. Cummings.
I just want to make a comment. I want to thank the Policy and Board Governance Committee for all of their hard work. I really appreciate the time and energy that you've all put into this. I want to call it a project, because it really has been a project over the last, I mean, it's been months and months and months. So thank you for your time and attention to detail and thought that you're putting into the process.
And, you know, honestly, our chair, Ms. Weems, chairs the committee, and she's been putting a great deal of effort into it. And so certainly pass that on to her
Thank you.
as well. Thank you.
The next item is discussion items. We have no discussion items, so moving forward to, we had action items which we removed. So I'm going to items from the treasurer, Mr. Rich.
I'm pulling that up right now, one moment. I move that the Board of Education approve the expenditures as outlined in the expenditure printout dated February 25th, 2020 as follows. General Fund, $9,698,602. General Fund Athletics, $72,742. Nothing from the Debt Fund. Capital Projects 2018 Bond Fund, $359,862. Nutrition Services Fund, $211,828. And the Benefit Stabilization Fund, $1,291,185 for a total of $11,634,219.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Rich to approve the expenditures as stated, supported by Mrs. Cummings. Mrs. Smith, can we have a roll call? Or, I'm sorry. Yes, I did that right. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Mukamal?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes?
I myself, yes. Ms. Green?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. That's what I get for being a little rusty here, sorry. Moving next to the item consent agenda. Is there a motion regarding consent agenda, Mr.
Madam
McMillan?
Chair, I move that the Board of Education approve the February 25th, 2020 consent agenda as follows. Item A, approval of the minutes of the February 11th, 2020 study session. Item 2, the Head Start Director's Monthly Report. Item 3, personnel items.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Muckamel to approve the consent agenda as presented, supported by Mrs. Cummings. Is there any discussion? Okay, Mrs. Smith, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Mukamal?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes?
I myself, yes. Ms. Green?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. The next item is reports from board representatives. Is there any other board representative reports? Okay. Then moving to our next item, superintendent announcements. Dr. Herrera.
Yes, thank you. Just a preview of the March 10th, our preview for the next board meeting, March 10th to 2020 study session. On the agenda, we have an update from the Education Foundation. We will also have Jennifer Kaminsky here to take us through the budget forecast and the budget development process, and then also budget parameters and assumptions, which we know are key to the budget development process. We'll review auditor appointment, bus purchase, and a review of the Visions Unlimited generator purchase, and then a review of the Farmington Early Childhood. There's furniture, their move, and the abatement work that will be occurring there, and then also approval of the resolution to hold a public budget hearing.
Thank you. Lots to do. The next item, recommendations for future agenda items. Mr. Muckamel.
Madam Chair, not an agenda item per se, but I just want to put this before the board. The next board meeting is March 10th, which, as we know, is an election day for the state of Michigan in the primary. And I wanted to find from my other colleagues what their thoughts might be of having the meeting on that evening, or whether we should move it to the Wednesday.
Thoughts?
And that way, you know, the thinking is that obviously people that want to either see or attend the board meeting would have ample opportunity to vote, and then we would, you know, have a separate date for the meeting itself.
Any thoughts? Mr. Rich?
I personally think that's a great idea. I think if that's something that we are all able to do, I know that all of us have cleared our schedules for these Tuesday meetings, but I want to make sure that all of our board members are able to make it if we were to move it.
Mrs. Cummings?
Yeah, I don't know my schedule off the top of my head, so I'm not sure. I fully support voting and giving people time to vote, of course, so I would be concerned about anyone we have coming to present, like the Education Foundation will be here, or probably they're planning on being here the 10th, so I would just want to make sure that we could either have them come the next night or the next meeting. You know, I want to make sure that we can get that update from them. And then, of course, we have a lot of items on the agenda, so I think that might take a little work on Dr. Herrera's end to go through and just make sure that logistically it makes sense that we could move it to Wednesday.
I might just add that as we look at next year's calendar, if we can just do a double check for voting days in general, because I think we ran into this in November as well, so we'll just kind of remember to check out voting days on that calendar. Mr. Rich?
I think also, just to be quite candid, I think discussions will change depending on what we see with the result of the bond on that Tuesday. I think that will definitely influence a lot of future discussions we have.
Mrs. Smith?
I also agree with Mr. Rich because our preview for the 10th shows that we will be discussing review of bus purchases. So that's important to look at that as well. To put, maybe we could move that, it's up to Dr. Herrera, I think, because we've
Well,
got.
I appreciate you deferring this to me, but I think in listening to the board, I think we'll do everything we can to switch the meeting to Wednesday night.
I have no idea what other events are occurring on Wednesday.
I just wanted to put it out there for the board for us to think about.
We can certainly explore that, and we understand your rationale, and we'll try to make any adjustments we can. So we'll give you an update on what, if there's any barriers or any implications to moving the date.
Can I also ask if any of you, once you've checked your calendar, if you let Mrs. Buckley know if there's a conflict?
There's
with
no conflict. with-
March 11th, that would be.
Yep, said as well.
I'm
All right.
free.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Okay. Moving to good and welfare. Any good and welfare? Mrs. Cummings?
Well, Ms. Weems could not be here because of a conflict in her schedule. She had something very important to attend to. So she asked that I share a couple items. So these are from Ms. Weems. There are several presentations for parents coming up on March 11th from 11:30 to 12:30. There's a presentation entitled Trauma in the Classroom. March 19th, there is Angst at the Civic Center at 7 p.m. It looks, she says, it looks like a good tool for dealing with mental health, which is a relevant topic along with managing anxiety, which is being presented on March 25th at 6:30 p.m. at the Maxfield Education Center. So as far as specific locations, I don't have that information, but I'm sure it's
gotta
got to
be
be
online.
online somewhere. In addition, there are several scholarship opportunities for students in the FPF website. There are some new ones, and many often go unclaimed, which is very sad. That was my comment right there. All right, back to Terry, Ms. Weems' comments. She says, the Weems family has established a new scholarship that is also listed with the other opportunities. The deadline for the scholarships is March 20th. So those were from Ms. Weems, and I have just one thing to share. When I'm able, attend the Commission for Children, Youth, and Families through the City of Farmington Hills. And the technical career night that the commission puts together and hosts on an annual basis is March 3rd. So that's a week, I think that's next Tuesday. Yeah, that's a week from tonight. It's at the Costick Center. And this event explores alternatives to a 4-year degree. So many of our students leave us, graduate, and go on to college, but many don't do that. And it's important that they know what their opportunities are. So that is, as I said, at the Costick Center. It's called the Technical Career Night, and it's from 7 to 8:30. And I know that there are many experts in the field lined up that can share information. So those that are looking for more information and trying to decide what to do, and that's for current students, it's for graduates, it's for community members, veterans. Any of you are welcome to go too. So, again, that's next Tuesday, the 3rd.
Mr. Rich?
This will be a little bit longer of a good and welfare. I've got a bunch of different things I need to talk about real quick. First was this past weekend, I participated in the Polar Plunge for the Special Olympics, along with many people in the Farmington District. So Team FPS was led by Samantha McKinder and Alex Dinzer from Farmington High School. We were joined by Emily Rosissi and John Loria from Farmington High, Danielle Bozeman and Pam Carter from Farmington Community School, and Emily Corey and Dania Stump from Alameda. Our team was actually the top school fundraiser. Our team raised $2,011 for the Special Olympics here in Michigan. There are pictures and videos of our team doing the plunge, jumping into Walled Lake. It was quite cold, as one would expect, but I will definitely be doing that again with our team next year. So
Thank you.
that is the first thing. The other thing I just wanted to talk about real quick is the due date for the Community Choice Scholarships is February 28th. So for those that don't know, there are 3 separate scholarship paths this year. So for high school grads, Community Choice is offering 15 separate $5,000 scholarships to help graduating high school seniors with a desire to attend a college in Michigan. Now, this is a scholarship I was very lucky to receive coming out of high school, and it definitely helps that first year in college, help get you through that first semester and possibly that second semester as well. There's also a scholarship path for continuing education this year. So there are 6 separate $2,500 scholarships to students looking to further their studies, pursue higher degrees, or get recertified. And then finally, there is a skilled trade and CTE option. So there are 4 separate $2,500 scholarships to students who are seeking vocational training or certification through accredited programs. And so it's an essay scholarship application. Once again, those are due February 28th. So very soon, get those scholarships in, as Ms. Cummings has said, and through Ms. Weems's statements as well. Sometimes these scholarships don't get claimed. I know the high school ones definitely do, but with the new scholarships, if anyone out there is watching who are interested in applying for the continuing education or skilled trade CTE scholarships as well, definitely do that. It is a great opportunity and a great way to start off on the right foot.
Thank you. Mrs. Smith?
I did not have the opportunity to attend the sex trafficking last night. So I know this isn't my good and welfare, but I want to say to Ms. Hewlett and the PTA at, was it Farmington High? Thank you for putting that on. I would love to see you all do that again. I just happened to be over in Ferndale at their school board meeting. But that's an important thing right now. It's huge. It's everywhere. Just returning back from Vegas, they have in the bathroom stalls signs, to call out for help. So, and I thought about you guys while I was gone, but thank you for putting that on. And I'd like for us to do it again in the near future. And thanks for all you guys do. Thank you.
Mr. Muckmal?
Yeah, so on a lighter note, on Monday, March 9th, the Farmington Community Band will be performing at North Farmington, a joint concert, I believe, with the North Farmington, members of the North Farmington Band. And normally I would be participating as a member of the community band, but my schedule is such that I haven't been at rehearsal. I will, however, be in attendance as a member of the Board of Education to support the students and to help underscore the importance of lifelong learning. So I would encourage you and members of the public, if on Monday night, it's a free concert, 7:30, the auditorium at North Farmington. And if you haven't been there, your bond dollars at work. Beautiful new auditorium at North Farmington.
Thank you. Thanks. And I just want to thank everyone for holding down the fort in my absence and keeping me informed. I appreciate all of that.
And
the
welcome back,
communications.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thanks. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
There is a motion by Mr. Rich to adjourn, supported by Mrs. Cummings. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. This meeting's adjourned.